So let us start our journey. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam bhavatu. Whether, it depends on you whether you keep your eyes open or closed, but your intellect should maintain that awareness. May there be happiness for all. May there be peace for all. May there be completeness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. It doesn't make any difference. So, what we discussed last time, the self-discovery is crucial. Now you can also open your eyes now, maintain that awareness. So self-discovery is crucial. Daily practice is a must in the beginning. Why? Because to build resilience and calm, you observe awareness. Observer awareness, not observer awareness matters. And then the life is, I want to tell you one thing. Never forget this. I learnt it after 15 years. Eastern wisdom offers the highest respect and adoration and honor to what? To intellect. It offers highest respect, adoration and honor to the intellect. And that is why we move from a default mind to a discerning intellect. In anxiety, fear, sleep and dream, just see, you cannot make a right decision. Can you make a right decision in anxiety, fear, sleep, dream? If situation, people, relationship outside has a problem because of the default mind. My default mind perceives the problem. The intellect perceives it is a situation. But if I do not know I am using the intellect, then what happens? Ego takes over the life. Default mind takes over the situation. Then what happens? The foolish mind thinks deluded decisions are right. You take a deluded decision. So you have married, you were a soulmate, and now you divorce. I'm not saying that it is true in all the situations, but just giving you. So I make a mistake. And that is why we discussed the rare human birth. Do you really respect your intellect? Come on, let me know. If you yes, better you say yes. And if you say yes, then you don't have any anxiety. You don't have a problem of unripe ego. Then you are not falling into sleep in a session. No, but you are allowed to do so. I have no problem. You are allowed to do so. So you see the intellect, role of the intellect. But the role of the intellect should follow the principles of Eastern wisdom as they are until you reach to a higher state, until you awaken to yourself. If I am not logical, interrupt me. So, do I realize worth being a human being? I am lazy in attending this session. I'm busy in the worldly affairs. I cannot attend this session. Sangeeta wrote couple of times. So that is very important. But no, in a situation, sometimes we cannot do it. It's okay. So the gift of intellect, the intellect gives the capacity to discern the real from the unreal. That is why we have to use the intellect. We are not using the intellect to get a Nobel Prize. You become noble. That is the goal of Eastern wisdom. You don't need to get a Nobel Prize. Right? Krishna Narayan, you become noble, not Alfred Nobel. Both are spoken in the same way. So you see that is where the Eastern wisdom talks about the treasure of wisdom. So that intellect gets the knowledge from the treasure of the wisdom. That is what the Eastern wisdom is. And then the intellect is supported by sama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha. So what I said, the gift of the intellect, you have an intense desire for freedom, and then you already have a knowledge. We have been learning for the last 5 years. I've been learning for almost 35 to 40 years. So with that understanding, now, and still you don't do it. So it means it is a foolish neglect. So despite these gifts, one who turns outward to pleasures and possessions commit. Do you still remember the last session? Harakiri. We commit harakiri. Harakiri includes, spiritual harakiri. I have a lot of problem. I have anxiety. I have reaction. I do not know how to make people understand. They do not understand me. No, you do not understand the world. That is the problem. Call to awakening. Lukewarm effort will not do, especially in these 6 treasures. It will not work. Lukewarm. So you have to check yourself. Last week you had a lukewarm effort towards the journey of self-discovery. Did you practice daily, or did you miss how many days, how many times, how many times you had the anxiety, duality, and a conflict and a reaction? You have none. You can see the glow on your face. You don't need any cosmetic. The GPS of the mind, why wisdom demands action. Now that is our another question. I have a knowledge, but if the knowledge is not applied, it cannot become the wisdom. It means I understand what is sama, dhamma, and uparama. Now I enter into the world with a shield of sama, dhamma, and uparama. Now it is winter, so you cover yourself with those warm clothes, sweater or winter clothes, and then you go out. Same way, you go out into the world, covering yourself with sama, dhamma, uparama, and titiksha. That is, you are applying the knowledge, that then only it becomes the wisdom. Otherwise, intellectually we can study, we can apply that. It does not make any difference. No, I can do it. I will not ask Ashok, who told me that I have been practicing regularly. How many weeks? Only 1 week. I'm not going to ask him. I know. Why should I ask him? I've been practicing regularly. Regularly practicing. I've been practicing for the last 30 years. How long you have? I've been practicing for the last 3 days. Next week, missed it. Next week, not in a single practice. Clarity in thought alone does not bring the real change. Ego and the habits often hijack the intellect. That is why knowledge has to be applied in your daily life. Young Christina, did you understand? You have to apply. You have been applying it. So, true wisdom requires applying these principles. Understanding does not work. Intellectual understanding is essential, but not final. Reason is our guide. Respect for honor for the intellect. Action is the journey. Are you understanding? You may write down reason is your guide, but action is the journey. Wisdom is the glorious destination. That is why I use the word Eastern wisdom. If you only know the route to peace but never drive, you never arrive. I'm repeating again. If you know the route to happiness but you never drive, you never arrive. Wisdom means uniting the mind's clarity with the heart persistent practice. In all the situation, analyzing, reflecting, and then acting. That is why we have the 3 steps: listening and learning, contemplation and reflection, practice and experience, followed by just check it. Did you change your behavior and attitude? If you are able to change your behavior and attitude, we all know my anger, my anxiety hurts my peace. And I have a knowledge at the intellectual level. Why shouldn't I apply? Recently, he's doing very serious. He's a very serious seeker. You miss the point. He has been doing it for the last 2-3 years. Very serious. And day before yesterday, he sent a message to me in my phone. What should I do? How to make my wife understand that I am a higher seeker? You lost everything. Did you understand? Did you understand? Your default mind is reacting. You are claiming that you have reached to a higher state. But the beauty of this guy is that after 10 hours, he wrote, I'm sorry. I know what is the problem. Problem is with me. I'm just real life examples. I get email and messages, so I use one message in other session, so remember this. So self-discovery is crucial. Daily practice is important. You have to build resilience and calmness. Observer awareness has to be there. Otherwise, it will not work, my friend. Then you will say nothing is working. And you have done 3 days of practice, and 4th day is our session. Then you will say, yes, I'm very serious. I've been doing the practice regularly. Really? Are you making yourself foolish or the entire group foolish? You have to check yourself. I'm sorry, don't feel offended. Are you an observer or observe? That we discussed in detail. So, my friend, let us come back. We discussed the first treasure is the sama. Sama, understanding the active peace. One is the passive peace. In deep sleep, unconscious, you are a passive peace. I'm not going there. You take two pack, and then I'm dreaming in pleasure. No, no, we are not going there. So understanding the active piece, building sama through the fourfold practice, for which discernment and dispassion are required. Daily application in thought, speech, and action is required. Now we understood this sama, layman explanation, and we also differentiated passive peace and the laziness. There is a passive peace with awareness, and there is a passive peace with laziness. That is your unconscious. You don't rise in awareness. In sama, you rise in awareness in peace. That is the difference. Then we did the Dhamma, external calm, mastery over the senses, simple explanation. But I also explained daily wisdom on Dhamma and daily application. I have to express that Dhamma. I discussed from the Yoga Sutra also. If you forget, you have to go back. Uparati, we resting the mind in a higher truth. Your mind doesn't forget the real self, whether you know it or you don't know it, or you are a seeker or you are a higher seeker. And then we reach to the titiksha. I use different words: endurance, resilience, and and equanimity. I use the word, couple of words. So I gave you a bamboo metaphor. Resilience is compared to the bamboo, which bends in storm but never breaks. Oh, you were gone somewhere, Ashok? Okay. I see that. But I know that you are practicing regularly. So resilience is compared to bamboo, which bends in storm but never breaks. It sways with the wind and rises again once the storm passes. Another example of resilience my master always used to give. Oh, there he used to live for at least 10 years in the Himalayas at the height of around 13,000 feet in Ganges Valley. We have a 4 and 5 feet snowstorm. So we used to hide in a cave. We wait the storm to come down, then only we go out. That's another metaphor we should remember. Now apply this in your daily life. Your honey is angry. Did you understand? Your honey is angry. Christina, did you understand? Don't provoke your near and dear ones when they are angry. Even if you are 100% right, that is the recipe. You are responding, not reacting. So when you are responding, not reacting, it is a part of the equanimity. It is achieved by responding to situations mindfully instead of reacting impulsively. Restorative, Stephen used that word. I love that. Restorative, it's a restorative practice. Frames, it's a dynamic, systematic cycle. When equanimity falters, resilience, you don't feel the resilience, and there comes, you remember, oh, let me have a restorative. So what happens? Mindfully responding to situations with clarity, finding lessons in challenges to build your inner strength, maintaining inner calm, gracefully accept. Now question is, why this titiksha is so important? You cannot awaken to yourself. You cannot settle in permanent peace. You cannot recognize it. You cannot find it. Titiksha is required. Very important. A mind easily thrown by mind, easily thrown off by unpleasant situation, cannot engage deeply in contemplative inquiry. You cannot have a right honor and adoration and respect for your intellect when you are learning the Eastern wisdom in the absence of titiksha. You need that. I'm not saying you need an IQ. It is a common sense intellect. Why it is a common sense intellect? Your honey is angry. Let me calm down. Do you need IQ to check? Understand that. I've been using it. You need a common sense intellect. You say to your mind, I will not respond until my honey calms down. And when he or she starts smiling, and then I will remind him or her, this is what happened, and that is why I did not respond. This awareness frees you from a mental hesitation and support, and your honey is helping you. Honey is angry, his or her anger is helping you to live in titiksha. Can you use that opportunity? You don't know about my honey. Ashok is smiling. You don't know. You don't understand how much I have to tolerate. Honey may be the mom and dad or anyone. You don't know. So you are right, I don't know. So ability to tolerate unpleasant and undesired situations calmly without internal suffering is your endurance. Life continuously presents dualities and hardship, and that is a test that tests the mind's capacity for calmness and acceptance. That tests your mind's capacity of samadhama and uprama. Do you see the relationship? By practicing patience, non-attachment, and nurturing unwavering mental presence. What is resilience? The mental strength to recover from setbacks and adapts to change effectively. I used to react mentally and emotionally many years ago if some event took place outside, and then 7 days it used to affect me, and then it reduced to 3 days, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second. So it means your impulsive mind gave you the trigger, and the next moment you are calm. It gives you the trigger, the next moment you are calm. Now it does not take 7 days. Sometimes people take 10 years. Oh, that my honey abused me, insulted me when 10 years ago. In 2015, that day was Thanksgiving. You don't remember Thanksgiving, you remember that someone insulted you. Some people don't get it. That is what the resilience is. Equanimity, the steady balance of the mind that remains calm and non-reactive in different life situations. Why shouldn't I react? When New Jersey, I was teaching this, in New Jersey long back. So she said, no, it's a challenge of the women freedom, women's liberation. Why you are saying me? I have to tolerate. I said, okay, continue doing it. And after they divorced, and then she was feeling lonely, then she called me. I said, you don't have a chance with me. I was just joking. You don't have a chance. No, I'm suffering from loneliness. You see, the entire vicious circle takes place. You should not have done it. You should have understood it. You should have applied that principle. The steady balance of the mind that remains calm and non reactive. Reactivity increases your suffering. Have you seen that? Your anxiety increases the suffering. Equanimity maintains the peace through non attachment and mindful awareness. That is where all the four go together. Sama, Dhamma, Uparama, and Titiksha. Perhaps this may be the last session for the Titiksha. Through meditation, mindfulness, applying the intellect, checking, did I commit harakiri today? How many times harakiri was done by Christina Rago last week? Another Christina? Or Terry, just think of it. And letting go of resentment towards someone who wronged you and maintaining inner peace. The last point in the Titiksha, this is an attitude which refuses to be affected or pained. You refuse to be impacted by any situation outside. Why? You have converted that situation into an incident. That is why you are suffering. Otherwise, every event is the event in the world. It has nothing to do with you. You have to respond. Are you getting it? A in a simplest way, I'm saying. You can say that this non-retaliatory endurance is essential for self-discovery, is essential for succeeding in meditation, is essential for getting deeper into the higher meditation. Otherwise, you'll say, oh, close your eyes, looking at the breath. Now, instead of looking at the breath, you started thinking about your honey, whether in a negative or positive way, attachment or detachment, and you are absorbed, you return. I said, what is your experience? I had a beautiful experience. I'm totally relaxed. You didn't use the intellect. You honor the intellect. I've been saying you. How can I know? Even if I know, I will not tell. I have to find out. The intellect must be active. Is your intellect active in deep sleep? No. When I wake up, my intellect knows I had a sound sleep. Are you getting it what I'm saying? Intellect is not active in deep sleep. But intellect has such a power in a waking state. I know I had this sound sleep. Intellect is such a powerful tool. Intellect is not there in deep sleep, and still it knows. I'm giving one example. I can give you hundreds of examples. Intellect knows you are unripe ego, you are fighting with your unripe ego inside. That is why you fought with someone outside. Are you getting it? I hope so. That is the end of today's gossip. Now is the time for you to discuss. Let us go discuss. Dennis.
Now, 2 points that come to mind. First one regarding the wisdom demands action. I think that actions verify the quality of my wisdom, the completeness of my wisdom, and its consistency. If I act and that action results in frustration, reaction, or any other negative feeling, it just means that my wisdom was imperfect because I did not foresee the consequences of my action, or I acted unconsciously from impulsive mind. I was not honoring or even using my wisdom and intellect at all. And the other point regarding titiksha, I think it is the titiksha is about accepting the world as it is with all its challenges and problems, because the reason the challenges are there are to show me the imperfections in my own intellect. If I get upset about problem or if I react to a challenge instead of responding, it means that I forgot about the picture, and then there's a problem in my understanding, in my intellect to be fixed.
Beautifully said. You see, I will summarize what the Dennis says. Dennis said that because of extreme exposure to the external world, technology, AI, and the rest of the thing, we have started living in a new normal, which is full of anxiety, duality, and a conflict. And we take it as it is normal. There comes the titiksha. There comes the samadhama and uparama. There comes its application. I did not have the internet for 24 hours. And I said, oh, thanks God. It is so good. Can you imagine what will happen to all of us if the internet is off in the entire world even for 24 hours? Your water system, your sewage system, your electricity, your closed circuit TVs, cameras. Go on thinking about it. Your phone. Go on thinking about it. Your store. You go to the store, oh no, let me buy the bread. No, you have to wait. Machine is not working. You go and find out. We are living in a new normal. We have lost the patience, the picture. Yes, Stephen, how are you?
Good, sir. Thank you. In thinking through today's lesson, some thoughts stirred around the intellect. We always know the right thing to do, and we keep learning the right thing to do. But and we're filled with all this information, and that's why when you wake up, you know that you had a good night's sleep because you know how you feel, you know what it feels like not to have it, and so on and so forth. But what's not being talked about is the fact that it's our emotions that cause the begetting the intelligence. And as I thought about the emotions deeper and deeper, if you look at every emotion that triggers you and just take that step backwards and use the intellect to say, why is it? Yep. It is happening because of our ego.
Yes.
So the simplicity of it is that every negative situation that happens to us in one way, shape, or form is affecting our ego. And with the knowledge that Eastern wisdom is giving us is to be able to separate that and realize that that's the root of the problem and go back to listening, learning, and that cycle that we talked about. So that's what I, for today.
Yes, yes. Beautifully said. You have to see the same principle from a different perspective. So now his perspective is ego, and he is perfectly right. It is because of my unripe ego I get hesitated into anxiety and reaction and duality. You can tell the intellect, come on, hold on to this unripe ego. Calm down. No response, no reaction at all. Can you hold on to it? Mind says, I cannot, I don't want to do the practice today. Why not? You have to do it. Calmly. You can get rid of that ego. Otherwise, normal ego is required. I said, I'm talking to you, so this is also an ego, but this is fair. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. You have such an articulate way of sort of explaining from different angles. I mean, we're talking about the same thing and bringing it from different angles, which is really beautiful. For me, I'm a couple of things. One, I'm kind of looking at the intellect as the king, and I've got these guards around me that are trained to use discernment to hold back any kind of thing coming through to me as the king. That being said, something can come through to me, so I too need to have the knowledge to be able to deal with it, and that's the tools that I give the guard to go protect me, but I also use for myself, which is the 6 treasures, so that I don't change. I'm just unwavering. And that's kind of how I'm processing today's lesson. Obviously, I'm going to re-listen to it and think about it more.
Beautifully. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I've noticed in my daily life in the last, I don't know, handful, week or 10 days or whatever, just stepping back in conversations and putting that space in there. And it's interesting. I'm really feeling that the conversations are much more connected and much more, succinct, I guess is the word I'm looking for. There's not this noise of just the default mind spewing stuff out. That space has really helped. So thank you.
Yes. The default mind does not find the space, and it does not want the space. You show your dog the bite of the food, even the dog had just eaten. Impulsive nature. So the same way our foolish mind wants to act. Not wants to act, but wants to react. And there we build up the ego. So we have to retrieve. How we are retrieving? By understanding. And what is the king? Yes, the intellect is the king. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. I like what Dennis said about the action completely lets us know where we are at with the wisdom and the understanding. I think there's something from the Bhagavad Gita that says action should culminate in wisdom.
Yes.
And I've always really loved that. And I had a thought because last week or Tuesday, I think you said that sometimes we're the most reactive and impulsive with our near and dear ones, and we've all been in situations on our meditation where we have background noise, construction, animals, whatever it might be, but none of us ever go in and interrupt each other. We never fight about who should go when. We never interrupt and say, Dennis, would you hurry up? We don't feel like that. We really are learning from each other and understanding each other. And that would be so inappropriate if we did that. We would have to change it. We would have to say something.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't have that disturbance. But yet we might do that in our home with our family. Yeah. It's just interesting. So
beautifully, yes. Gita says, one principle of Gita, it says, perform your action. You have a right to perform an action. Now go opposite. You don't have a right to perform a reaction. The message is hidden, and that is where the secret lies. Beautifully said. How are you, Samir?
Sir, what you told in the beginning, I remember one thing that a man asked a lady, do you know driving? So she told, yes, I know everything. I have learnt it. So Kati, can you drive? Kati, yes, I can drive. So she couldn't drive even half a kilometer. Kati, where you learned? I learned on the YouTube. Sir, so means it is in my life. I have seen that practice and knowledge, they are totally complementary to each other. And one is increasing the other. Means if I don't do the practice, I I think that I am lacking in the knowledge. And as I apply knowledge in the practice, then my practice become more means intense and more powerful. If I put my knowledge in the practice becomes more means intense and
Yes.
powerful. When I put more means in the knowledge, practice in the knowledge, then both complement each other.
Yes.
Without means it is not possible. So when I use knowledge, my meditation is very means deep
Yeah.
and means it's
Yes. Yes.
means
Yes. That is beautifully, and that is the definition of a wisdom. That is the definition of a wisdom. Oh, you see that I have been calm for 2 hours and now you continue to react to me. No, you have not been calm for 2 hours. You have been reacting inside. Now you are expressing. I'm just giving you an example. And, now my enough is enough. There is a website. Have you seen that? Enough is enough. You can check it. It's very, very, very interesting website. There is no enough is enough. Calmness, peace is your essential nature. So there is no enough. I already answered what. Vaibhav, how are you?
Thank you, sir. So today's lesson, what I understood is like if I'm learning something, but if I'm not able to apply in the real life situation, then that learning will is no help. Because if I'm learning endurance and if I'm not able to endure any issues that are coming from outside or someone is acting, I'm not able to endure it, then it's just a knowledge which is not applied.
Yes.
And it's like that if something is happening in ignorance, like someone is reacting in a default state, and I also use my default state to react on top of it, then both the transaction is happening in the default nature. There is no awareness in between. So if the awareness is between, then only the peaceful can be there.
Beautifully said. What is the point here? Say the two people are communicating with their default mind. The intellect is absent. So knowledge is absent. So obviously they will land up fighting. They will land up fighting. That's a beautiful. Are you, Christina? They are waiting. Which one? Can you both go together? Okay, Christina, go.
Thank you. I was just thinking about like an analogy I use in one of my groups of that we're trying to put up a tent in the middle of a hurricane. And so when there's anger or some challenge, I think we can personalize it as if we're being attacked. But if we can see it as what Dennis was saying, is this challenge is coming to challenge me to come back to the Eastern wisdom principles, I cannot take it personally and keep putting up the tent. Yeah.
We take it personally only because of the default mind that brings in, that grows the unripe ego. When you say personally, it means I-ness is there. And with the I-ness, the my-ness is there. So otherwise, if you see the event as an event, not as an incident that I discussed a couple of weeks before, the life becomes very easy. How are you, Christina, now? You will understand.
I love hearing everyone's knowledge of what their understanding is, because it just kind of sets off little fireworks in my head, like, oh, wait, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. So thank you, everyone that has shared so far. And what I've been, as of just last night, for a few nights, I've been having these very angry dreams, and I wake up and I feel I don't feel good because I'm like, oh, this is not something I like to be feeling, even though it's happening in my sleep. So I know it's not real, but it has been reflecting on a situation with one of my near and dear family members, and they've been very upset with me, and I love hearing what your master had said and did, and the Himalayas of waiting for the storm to pass, because that's what I was just thinking about last night was, you know what, like, I would love to apologize, even though I don't think I did anything, whatever, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'll wait for the storm to calm and then hopefully meet halfway. So thank you for
Yes,
just
yes.
simplifying this.
That is one of the great lessons, just hide inside the cave if there is a storm in your relationship with the near and the dear ones in the society, anywhere, or even including you have an extreme pain in the body, that is also a storm. Sleep. Better to fall into sleep. Let us go. And then see what happens. Let us do the practice, and then who are left, we will share the experience. Close your eyes. The stage number 1. Place, position, and posture. Respect your intellect. Intellect heard. Place, position, and posture. You are into that awareness. Can you live into the experience? Can you know, feel, and experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness? So it is not a practice, it is just a contemplation, reflection that leads you to the state of meditation. Do you see that point? Then you are carefree. Now you have a big space between what you observe and you, the observer, and the observed. Now the play of the observer and the observed is, you know what it is? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam bhavatu. Can you go deeper? Can you have an instant contemplation and reflection? Your happiness, peace, completeness, auspiciousness are essential nature that is always lying behind. Now I'm using different words. So that is lying behind the default mind. Teacher in the Eastern wisdom always likes you to address the issues, absorb into the knowledge. You become your own teacher. If you become your own teacher, it is very easy to live in any type of the society. And now we will look deep inside the forehead in the space. No, I'm skipping many steps. The stage 2, and start breathing quick, fast, and long breath into the chest, but keep looking deep inside the forehead in the space. You are breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into the entire rib cage and experiencing the expansion while inhaling and contraction and squeezing while exhaling. It is long, deep and silent, long, deep in the hissing breath, maintaining the sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body, and paying your attention deep inside the forehead means that you want to keep the mind inside. Now, who is noticing all this? Intellect. If the mind notices, it becomes the default mind, then the unripe ego, then the sleepiness, then the laziness, then you have distractions. You see the difference between the default mind? Do you really honor the intellect? Don't think, I'm asking you to honor my intellect. No, you have to honor your intellect. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath, paying attention deep inside the forehead. And now stop this breathing. Allow the breath to reach to its normal pattern. Check the flow of the breath. What is the flow of the breath? You are present there. You're just noticing the flow of the breath. Noticing means what? You're an observer of the flow of the breath. Now you're not changing. You are noticing, you are observing the flow of the breath in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness, in the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now you transition to the stage 3. What I said, the dropping. Every time the breath goes in and comes out, you drop Om Shanti. We're on the breath. And now bring this Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. You are very much aware what to do. You are aware of the segment of the finger. Your awareness gives you the sensation, and then you drop Om Shanti. It increases the sensation. How you do it, that is the state of the mind. It may be simply Om Shanti, or it may be Om Shanti. Longer one, shorter one. It all depends on the nature and the state of the mind at this moment. So you follow your own rhythm. But do not move any fingers, and watch and feel the changes in the sensation. And now is the time to move the mind inside the heart. Recognize the triangle. Move the mind on a triangle. Dropping Om Shanti. You see the third Om Shanti, we are doing it in order to check that how the mind is functioning. And then if you find the sync, that means the mind is prepared to go within. That is the moment you singing, pushing the mind deep inside. Mind seems to stop, you drop Shanti, you transition into the stage number 4, self-absorption, nothing to do now. Yes, waiting to, you may have many visions and colors, images, etc., experiences. Let them come and go. You remain as an observer. Oh, that is why we practice being carefree. Yes, one of the answers. When you honor the intellect in the stage 4, you recognize a kind of self-absorption wherever ripe or unripe ego is very, almost minimal. On a given day in meditation, when it is totally minimal, then you have many visions, colors, or you are abiding in immutable peace in the joy within. There are many experiences, not restricted to one. Now in the stage 5, we chant mentally or loudly. You can do it with me. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the right hand mentally. Feel the left hand mentally. Means you are aware of the right and the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside and stay there. Let the intellect know your experiences the way you know you had a sound sleep. The way, let the meditation be also understood. And bring the hands down. How are you, Christina Rago?
Thank you. Had a peaceful meditation. Indigo just sort of poured in at the end with a deep sense of peace.
Beautiful. Yes, allow those visions and colors, just remain as an observer, the detached observer. Let these things happen. Beautifully said, Sangeeta.
सर जैसे आजकल आपको पता है कि प्रेशर ज़्यादा है, काम का मेंटल प्रेशर भी है, तो सर बीच बीच में ना मैं विड्रॉ कर लेती हूँ अपने आप को और ओम शांति या गुरु मंत्र का जाप करती हूँ तो काफी हद तक रिलैक्स रहती हूँ.
She says that there is a tremendous pressure in her life because her son is getting married. That is an outer situation. What I have to do with it? Because I make it personal, so that's why I have a more pressure. Take the life carefully. My son and daughter are living their own life. What I have to do? Why should I have more pressure? Yeah, we are progressing slowly. Yes, Janice.
Peaceful and comfortable meditation. There was sensation of expansion and fullness in the head after the breathing, and then just infinite dark space, calmness, and almost no thoughts. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Lot of phrases Dennis used. You see that. That is how when we honor the intellect, you know what's happening. What should happen, what should not. Terry, you want to share? Terry was not there. I know Ashok will say namaste only, so yes.
My meditation was very active.
Good.
I had a bunch of little dreams, but I didn't fall asleep. So
very good.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Let those dreams and vision and colors come and pass. So you are not sleeping. That is much better than seeing something. Good. So how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Very good, deep meditation. I realized during the going into the heart that I was accessing my true treasure, which is what real self, which is complete, and then realizing that how delusion and attachment and default mind is buried that treasure. So the practice of Eastern wisdom is unburying that treasure within. So that was my thought. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Yes, beautifully. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Nice, relaxed, deep, absorbed, dark space.
Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, sir. My meditation was very focused. I observed a lot of sensation. I observed changes in body temperature. And when we got to the triangle, I always start the triangle with the point up and following it around. And today, the triangle, as I was following it, flipped on me. And I started focusing on why it was flipping and said to myself, take a step backwards from this, because I think my mind is trying to distract me from what's happening. And triangle went back, point up, and I fell into an extremely deep meditation. So thank you again.
Yes, beautifully. We discussed about this triangle pointing apart when it is an equilateral triangle. It is a geometrical symbolic expression of the Shiva who is the originator of the yoga, considered as a god. So we have discussed that. So it flips. Yes, sometimes we are inside the triangle when you are visualizing. Sometimes the triangle is inside me. So those changes, if they appear, are good, are better. Yes, Christina Trizilino. We have done the Christina. Yes.
I was worried, honestly. I did not sleep for the last couple nights, and so I've been very, very tired. And I was worried that I was going to fall asleep, and I shifted at first, I was like, oh, this feels so good and warm and cozy with my eyes shut. And then I was like, okay, let me step back. So I wasn't trying to be active, but I was just trying to observe and listen to every step that you said and ignore my mind that wanted to stop doing the pranayama or anything like that. So
Beautiful.
observer mindset. Thank you.
Yes, even you didn't get the sleep nut, but you did not sleep during the practice of meditation. That is one step better. So we have, Vaibhav. I think Samir has left here.
Thank you, sir. Sir, mine was calm. It was like peaceful.
Beautiful. Ashok, sir.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir. We are meeting just now. Yes.
Sir, there is some issue in my system, no?
Yes.
There is some issue in the system. Earlier the laptop was gone, and now the mobile was going on. I mean, it is also not working functionally well. So, sir, I am fine and listening to all the practices.
Okay. Yes, continue.
Thank you so much.
Continue listening
Thank you so
to
much.
the practice. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.